Hello and welcome to an episode of Jacob's House of Rock. My name is Jacob and today I'm doing a song reaction video. So fortunately nothing guitar related today. We'll have guitar in it obviously, but my normal sort of guitar mod videos, as you can see, I'm still putting on hold for a little while. Just because again I haven't really had the time nor the space since I have moved to this place to actually work on that stuff. So I do apologize for that if you guys are kind of keen and waiting on more of my, mod projects like the Tony Iommi related guitar stuff. But in the meantime, I figured I'd at least keep putting out content. A few bands which I really dig have put out some more content. That being Mastodon today, which we're going to be taking a look at some of their new stuff, and Dream Theater. Just like the last video I did, we got a brand new album from Mastodon, and some tracks have already been put up on the internet, which is very exciting. I'm a huge fan of them. I went to see them live before the whole virusy thing meant that no concerts were happening like ever. So a while back I did see them live. They were great, fantastic band, and I loved their recent releases. Emperor of Sand, top notch. And the EP they put out recently, a little while back, Cold Dark Place. Bloody love that thing. Now, they have seemingly been going in sort of a different direction to what a lot of people are more familiar with their stuff. So they started off really heavy, really aggressive sounding, but in later years their albums have kind of been progressing into a more prog kind of area musically, and I've actually been really digging their new stuff much more than their sort of older releases, which kind of makes me different from a lot of Mastodon fans out there, I think, because your typical kind of fan would be like, oh, it's not as good as the old stuff, but personally I think they're just getting better and better with time. So I'm really excited to check out this release. So let's just jump right to it. So I have the track loaded up here, and I've actually just testing the audio, heard the first 6 seconds of it. I already don't know what to make of it. This is gonna be interesting. So obviously this is off their latest release, Hushed and Grim, which yeah, very reminiscent of the Cold Dark Place EP that they put out, at least just visually here and with the name. I'm digging this album cover. It's got some interesting stuff going on here. Yeah, let's just dive in and see what the track Sickle and Peace has to offer. Now, bear in mind I will be pausing the track to talk about it and rewinding a little bit here and there and all that sort of stuff, so I do apologize if that kind of irritates you, but it's kind of the way that reaction videos are done, so that's how I'm gonna do it. Anyway, let's jump right in. Alright. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, wow. So, before I'd only heard that, like, creepy little intro sound. That little, like, death comes So yeah, I've only heard that when I was just testing the audio, so I thought it was going to go in a very different direction there, something really weird, but okay, it comes right in, sounding a lot less, again, heavier than some of Mastodon's previous stuff. It's got sort of a slightly less distorted guitar sound, but still very dense, very intricate, which I really love about Mastodon's sound. So yeah, very reminiscent of Cold Dark Place. Let's continue. Again, a little bit melancholy in the sound. Nice guitar tone. Okay, that's different. Yeah, that sounds really different. It's the production's quite, how do I put it? For now, it's not too dense. Actually, the production-wise, it's dense in the kind of the way the guitars are being played and all that stuff. But what I love about Mastodon as well is that there's 3 members in the band which contribute to the singing, and they all have very unique voices, and all of them are great singers. Similar in the vein of like Queen, which has most of the band contributing to the vocals, and they all have their own sort of unique voice. Or Kiss even is another band that does that. So well, that's one thing I really love about Mastodon. They don't really have a lead singer, but here I'm hearing it's the bass player singing this bit here, and it's very different to his kind of usual stuff. He's got a really thick, gruff voice in a lot of the stuff, but here it's kind of doing this weird, creepy sort of whispery singing kind of thing. Interesting. Like the percussion and the drum sound. Oh, I'm getting the sense that this is kind of like building to something, it's establishing a tone. But the guitar sounds really interesting to me, like Brent, the lead guitarist, he, especially in Cold Dark Place, which was, I think, basically was meant to be his own sort of side project, but then became like a Mastodon EP. But he's got a lot of sort of country influences in his guitar style, which I've noticed in a lot of the softer stuff he does. And this has got kind of his style all over. It's just this really sort of plucky thing going on, which sounds very, very different to the more heavy stuff. But also different to the sound on Cold Dark Place. This sounds... So far it's not grabbing me as much as that EP did from just the first song instantly. But again, with these reactions that I do, I almost always go back to the songs after I've done these reactions, and I like them a lot more when I actually am just listening to them without focusing on being filmed and doing a reaction video. So bear that in mind. Plus, once it kind of all unfolds, you get a better picture of the whole thing they're going for, and that generally determines whether you like a song more or not as well. Anyhow, let's keep going. There we go. Yeah. I think that's the drummer singing. I love that, like, that fake guitar sound they got going on as well in here. It's just classic Mastodon, just that kind of sound. And again, you got, the different singer coming in there. I think that's the drummer. I really apologize, I don't know his name, but I bloody love his singing on, like, pretty much everything that that he's on with Mastodon, singing-wise, and of course, great drumming. This is leading into a more epic metal section. Oh, and back to this. Yeah, I love when they do those changes. Actually, I'm gonna come back and we'll listen to that whole change again. I just want to get a good sense of that. It's different, but it's very Mastodon. No, I like that transition. Texturally, just the sound is really nice and kind of uplifting in this moment. Even though there's a lot of kind of like minor stuff going on that makes the sound a little bit melancholy. Now, if you kind of pay attention to what's going on in the background, I really like how they have just these little sprinkles of little synth sounds and just little touches of percussion and stuff like that. Like there's like a kind of like a synth sound that I just noticed in the background. It's really subtle, but one thing that I really like about Mastodon is the way they add those little psychedelic and weird, interesting little elements like sprinkles just at the end. I think it was there was a little doco about the making of Emperor of Sand and the recording of that, and they did talk specifically about like how they like to add all the little psychedelic elements and all the little stuff just at the end. And yeah, that's one thing I really dig about their sound. It's right there. Yeah. Really 80s guitar sounds there, and then the big thick Mastodon sound. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, I can tell this is going to be a great solo. This feels like one of those songs that I really have to listen through a couple of times to get, because like I don't know whether it's like the time signature they're playing in or something, just you kind of need to listen through the rhythms a few times, and once you kind of lock them in, because it's a little bit different than your basic sort of classic rock 4/4 kind of, it might be in 4/4, but whatever they're doing, it sounds kind of different. But I can't be bothered actually counting it out to tell. Sorry. It's got this kind of different rhythm and pace to it and chord progressions, and once you kind of lock those in, once you've heard them a few times, then you're able to ebb and flow with the music, and I can tell it's definitely going to be great on re-listens, and especially with those changes in there. The thing I love about modern Mastodon, the newer releases, basically everything from Crack the Sky onwards, is just the way they use those changes in there, from that heavy to that kind of light textural elements. It's just, that's what I really love. Good prog and good metal, I think, is just the best when there's a lot of those textual differences, because it really makes the heavier stuff feel heavier, and it makes that light stuff feel really like a breath of fresh air in there, and it's a good interplay. So I can tell we're about to jump into a really good solo. So I'm going to pull it back a little bit, because I know how some of you get in the comments if I ever pause during a guitar solo. You get really pissed off, and you're very open to telling me about it, at least on my past videos. So I'm going to try my best not to pause it during the solo, but we may have to go back to it later on. But anyway, let's take a listen. my favorite part of the song right now. Okay. That was good. That was good. Where do I begin? I love just the production in that section. Like it just feels fresh and lively. The guitar tone is so beautiful. It's got this really nice breakup to it. It's not an overly shreddy solo by any means, but it's just like a really good sort of, I don't know, it's got that soul, that bluesiness, kind of that feel to it. That's just really nicely done, and it's just backed by this just really, really sweet sounding, intricate kind of chord progression with like these, if you listen closely, there's again those like warbly sort of like slightly wah effects just under that rhythm section there, and it all just comes together so nicely, and it just contrasts really well from the previous section. And we jump into this like more heavy bit, which I actually think maybe they could have pushed the heaviness even heavier in this kind of bit, and maybe it could just be the headphones I'm using or something, but again, I need to re-listen to it to just get even more of a sense of it. But I'm going to re-listen to that solo again because I did really enjoy it, and I love the way it came in. That's very well produced, that section in particular. I like this kind of chord progression and the keys they got in the background there. A lot going on. A lot of... It feels very orchestral. There's just a lot of density in the layering going on, which with Mastodon I feel like they almost just get too much in some parts, just because again they have a really... How do you put it? Some of their older stuff has a much more stripped back kind of sound, and you can get a really effective, really heavy sound if you strip a few things back. And that's like one thing that I feel like with some of their tracks is like the balance is almost too busy. Again, I have to re-listen to this track a few times just to really tell, but it does create this really unique orchestral kind of sound. It's very layered. And especially since production-wise, like every section has its own feel to it, it is very refreshing and very enjoyable to listen to because you do get a lot of different sounds that way. Pretty solid so far. Again, that guitar solo there is easily my favorite part of the song. Let's see how they close off. So again, I'm gonna just jump back a little bit so we get a bit more context. And I do like these really epic sections here, especially with the drummer guy singing. progression. Just got this slow marching epic feel to it that's very, very different to some of their very fast-paced kind of stuff that you're used to of Mastodon. Yeah. Like I keep saying, I need to re-listen to this whole thing to really just kind of get a final opinion on it, but I'm definitely liking what I'm hearing with this. You can hear where they're branching off from like Emperor of Sand and Cold Dark Place. It's retaining that sort of more prog elements, and you can see they're going for a very specific tone with this one, and I like it. I like it. Mastodon, they're doing good stuff. I was very pleasantly surprised to see that they did put out this new release, and I'm very, very keen to listen to more of it. Hopefully, I don't know if any more of it's actually out yet or not. If it is, I'm definitely going to do more reaction videos to tracks from this album or EP, or I'm assuming it's an album. They put out an EP recently, so why wouldn't they put out a full album next? But yeah, really digging it. That guitar solo in there was easily my favorite part, but I love the contrast that they have between those softer sections and the heavier sections, and it's really interesting to hear a sort of more paced out, more epic, slow sound kind of a march to this song than their more typical sort of faster paced usual stuff or their older stuff. So very cool, very cool. So yeah, that is it for this video, guys. I'm going to do some more song reactions in the near future. I have a few songs planned. I've been meaning to do the new Iron Maiden album. I forgot what the title of that one was, Shenjitsu, or some sort of like Eastern themed album name from them. So that's gonna be real interesting because I definitely enjoyed their last album, and of course I'm gonna do more of Dream Theater stuff because they just the whole thing was released, something like Looking Up from a High Down from a High Place or something like that. Their newest album, Dream Theater. I've already listened to actually the whole thing, just kind of background listening, and I really enjoyed that, so I'm probably gonna do an actual proper song in-depth analysis reaction like this, even though I have actually technically already listened to all those tracks off of that one. Already I can say that they're much better than the previous album. Actually, I'd say it's a really strong album, so I definitely want to do some reactions to that one. But this, I like it. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys. I hope to see you in one of my next ones, but until then, keep on rocking. Peace out. Bye.